Greetings, students. Today is Friday, August the 16th, 2013, and we are moving into the second half of week 4. Hope you're all getting into reading the pieces for this section and are done with your exciting and wonderful conversations from the first half of the week, and hopefully you'll get the connections on how we put all of these plants and animals together to create polycultures that are the best possible ways to support agroecosystem health. And I thought I would just take you on a little tour of my own little polyculture, and in particular the perennial aspects of it, and perhaps see some of the things that are good and some of the things that are problematic. I won't dwell on it too long, but the takeaway message, if you will, really has to do with the question of human intervention in nature, and this is a theme that came up quite a bit in the last few days, and I hope that you will begin to understand, if you don't already, that technology can be harmonious and fitting and respectful and appropriate, as the term goes, or not. And the question of what is and what isn't appropriate agricultural technology is really a major issue that is of huge implications for everything that we're talking about here in terms of sustainability. So I'm going to show you some pictures while I talk, or as part of my talking, that include my blueberry patch, which I have been spending a lot of time in picking. It's been a tremendously good blueberry year, and focusing mostly on the apple orchard, which really has been starting to drop some apples, and so you'll hear me multitasking as I talk. I am picking up some of these drops and putting them in my bucket, and you'll see some pictures of this orchard from various angles. You will also see some signs that there have recently been cows grazing in this orchard. This is part of the field next door to the chicken tractor, and there's one shot looking down towards the chickens and the garden, and one shot looking up from the chicken area, where there's a wild apple tree over the chicken area, providing them with some shade. So there's lots of wild apples around, and the orchard that I have here, that I'm fortunate to have, was planted about over 20 years ago now, and 25 years ago maybe, by ex-husband number 2 and me, and we planted these seedling trees. Well, they weren't seedlings, they were grafted, and they were old varieties, and we have lost many of the tags, so some of them, a great many of them, are completely mysterious. Some of them we did plant knowing what they were and having actually bought some. So it's quite a mixed bag. The ones I'm picking up now are, of course, summer apples. These are all fantastic apples. You probably have learned at some point that there are way fewer commercial sources of apples these days, and that's part of the erosion of genetic diversity that we have touched on, which is a problem. And so we do our best to cultivate these apples. We don't really have time to deal with this orchard the way it should be, to manage it. We try to do some pruning in the winter, but we're not in this as a business, and it gets hard. So anybody who wants to come pick apples and do whatever you want with them, help us out. Come on up. Anyway, you will also see a little pond surrounded by rugosa roses, wild roses, and blackberries, and willows, and a plum thicket that the cows use for drinking, and my dog just loves to hang out at and get herself muddy in. It's a runoff pond. It's not spring fed. There's lots and lots of frogs in it. Occasionally a fish that's dropped by a great blue heron. But there's a whole lot going on in this field, and some of it was intentional and some of it just happened organically, as they say. So anyway, the one thing I wanted to point out is that the cows can be a destructive force in this field. I know that the soil has improved tremendously since my neighbor started putting his heifers in it, and he's been a great help in many ways, so we've kind of traded favors over the years. And yet, if we wanted to, say, sell apples for either cider or any kind of processing, we would not be able to use the drops because of the fact that the cows have been grazing here and pooping. And that's a food safety issue that's become more and more of a problem in many processed foods. And the cows have also destroyed some things. I used to have elderberries around the pond, and the cows have consumed them. I've since planted a few elsewhere where it's not tempting for the cows, but that's one of the things. They like to eat apple trees and apples, so they won't be allowed back out here until after the harvest season is over, which is probably when they won't be around anymore anyway. So there are plus and minuses about this. I hope you will enjoy the readings and the videos this week, and I do hope that you can take advantage of the conference call with Brian Tokar to continue the conversation about GMOs. I will post some more links to more information. There's tons of it out there.